Hello, this is Craig Mitchell with Cherry Creek Mortgage, and today I'm going to cover the down payment assistance program that our bank is offering that can help you purchase a home for as little as $500 down. So to begin, our bank receives money from the state of California that we are able to use to help our clients with the down payment and or closing costs when purchasing a home. Now, before I go over the numbers with you, I first want to go over the qualifications, what it takes to qualify for this program, because not everyone qualifies. The first requirement for this down payment assistance program is you must be able to qualify for a home loan. The down payment assistance only covers the down payment. You still do have to qualify for a home loan. So, what does it take to qualify for a home loan? Well, when you're applying for a home loan, there are only three things that the banks look at. The first thing that we're going to look at is credit. You do not need perfect credit to buy a home. You just need, somewhat mediocre credit. For the down payment assistance program, you would need a minimum 640 credit score. Now, the average credit score in the U.S. is a 680, so as you can see, you can have below average credit and still qualify. Now, if your credit score is in the high 500s or the low 600s, you can usually get your credit score above 640 in just a couple months. So if you think your credit score might be a few points low, just shoot me an email or give me a call, and I can show you how to boost it up fairly quickly. The second thing that the banks are going to look at is income. And we look at your income for two reasons. Number one is it tells us the price range of the home you can qualify for. And number two, there are some income restrictions to qualify for the down payment assistance. The state of California does set this money aside for what it considers to be moderate income families. Now, the income limits, in my opinion, are fairly lenient, but the exact income limits are based on the county that you're living in and the number of people that would be living in the house. So, depending on these two factors, the income limits could be as high as $154,000 per year, which means you would have to make less than $154,000 a year to qualify. Now, for most people, the income limits are going to be a little bit less than that. $154,000 is just the maximum income limits. Now, if you want to send me an email or give me a call and let me know what county you'd be living in and how many people would be living in the house, I can let you know exactly what the income limits would be for your specific situation. Now, one thing I do want to point out, the income limits are based solely on the income of the person who is on the home loan. So, if you're married and your combined household income is over the limit, a simple solution is just to put the home loan under one of your names so you can meet the income limits for the down payment assistance. Now, both you and your spouse can be owners of the home, but we would simply put the home loan under one person's name if needed to qualify for the assistance. And the third thing that we're going to look at are assets. How much money do you have saved to put down towards the house? The down payment assistance does cover the majority of your down payment, but it does not cover the whole thing. So depending on the price of the home you're purchasing, most people need as little as $500 up to $3,000 to get into a house on this program. So as long as you have decent credit, you have some documentable income, and you can save anywhere from $500 to a couple $1,000, you can buy a home, and it's really that simple. So next I'm going to cover the rest of the requirements on what it takes to qualify for the down payment assistance. The first thing is no home ownership in the past 3 years. You do not need to be a first-time home buyer to qualify for this program. If you owned a home more than 3 years ago, that's fine, as long as you have not owned a home in the past 3 years. Number two is a lot size of less than 5 acres. This is not going to be a problem for most people, but if you're looking for a property that has more than 5 acres of land, we do have special financing for those types of properties. Number three is homebuyer education. The state of California does require that you take a homebuyer education class to qualify for this assistance. This is actually very simple. You can do it online, and it only takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Number four, it must be owner occupied. This is pretty self-explanatory. You have to live in the house you're purchasing. This program does not work if you're wanting to buy the property to rent out. And last is it must be a single-family residence. So basically, if you're looking for a multi-unit property like a duplex or a triplex, so you can live in one unit and rent the other units out, unfortunately it doesn't work for this particular program. You'd have to put down the full 3.5%. Now you can buy a condo. Condos are fine. It just has to be a one-unit property. So any regular house or condo does qualify. And that's pretty much it. As long as you can meet these criteria, you can qualify for our down payment assistance program. So now that we've covered what it takes to qualify for the program, let's go ahead and cover exactly how the program works. This down payment assistance program is combined with an FHA home loan. And pretty much all banks offer FHA home loans. FHA is the standard home loan for people who want to buy a home for as little down as possible. On an FHA home loan, the down payment is 3.5%. So if you're buying a $300,000 house, the standard down payment would be $10,500. On a $200,000 house, the standard down payment would be $7,000, just for a couple examples. Now, this is where the down payment assistance kicks in. When using the down payment assistance, the state of California will cover 3% of your down payment, which brings your total out-of-pocket expense to just 1/2 of 1%. So, on a $300,000 home, your down payment would go from $10,500 to $1,500, and the state would cover the other $9,000. On a $200,000 home, your down payment would go from $7,000 to just $1,000. So as you can see, on this program you can actually buy a home for less than what it costs to rent a place when you consider having to pay your first month's rent and security deposit on most rentals. Now we have one more thing to cover, and I'm going to wrap this up for you. The last thing I want to cover are the terms of the down payment assistance. This down payment assistance you are getting from the state is not free money. It is a loan from the state of California, and it's called a silent second. And it's called silent because you do not have any monthly payments on it. You see, the state lends you this money, and there are 3 circumstances that determine when you would have to pay this money back. Number 1 is in 30 years. If you still own this house in 30 years, then the state wants their money. Now, you can pay them back before 30 years if you want to, but you don't have to pay them back before 30 years if you don't want to. Number 2 is if you ever sell the home. If you ever sell the home, then the state would get paid back at that time. And number 3 is if you move out. If you move out of the house and you don't sell it, which means you're probably turning it into a rental property, then the state does want you to pay them back at that time. Again, this money is only for owner-occupied homes and not rental properties. And finally, as I mentioned before, this is a loan, and all loans do have an interest rate attached to them. The interest rate on the down payment assistance loan is 3.25% simple interest. Simple interest means that the interest is not compounding, which means that the interest that accrues on the loan remains relatively low. So for example, if your down payment assistance was $6,000, the interest that would accrue on it would be about $16 per month. And that pretty much wraps up this presentation. If you do have any questions, or if anything's unclear, or if you'd like to get pre-qualified for this program and reserve your funds, simply fill out the form below, and I'll give you a call back within 48 hours. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.